Hello, everyone, and welcome to the It Just Works podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and today is a very special episode that is a long time coming, and I'm extremely excited today to have Ray at Raymond on Instagram here today on the show. Ray, how you doing, man? And welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, everyone? And I'm doing good, dude. It's definitely been a long time coming. You and I have been talking back and forth for years now, so it's good to put a face to the name, you know?
Yeah, no, it really is, man. And it's so cool to like finally come here with all the work that you've done over the years and just seeing your progression as an artist and really kind of find your niche lately. And we're going to jump into that. It's just fascinating. So it's a just working it out episode. So if you don't mind me asking before we jump into some of the icebreaker questions, how's your week been so far?
It's been all right, dude. It's been a little slow. Um, it usually happens around this time, at the end of the month, like everything's a little slower. But aside from that, it's been pretty good, man. Been taking care of the family, been hanging out, everything's been good. Can't complain.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to hear that. And when you say it gets kind of slower towards the end of the month, which it does naturally for even my business, are you full time like a full time graphic designer now, or what do you do as your primary source of income?
Yeah, I'm a full-time graphic designer. So part of my income is commissions, freelance commissions. Another part is what I get paid through TikTok, what I get paid through Instagram, and what I get paid through DistroKid, which is the site that I use for my music.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, so you definitely have. Yeah, you're definitely you're hustling out there, no question about it. So I was just
Trying,
curious.
trying.
Yeah, no, you're definitely doing a good job, and like I said, we'll definitely get into what I think you found your niche in. But a couple icebreaker questions that I love to ask people when it's their first time on the show. We'll start off with like, what's your favorite video game or video game franchise?
Honestly, you know me, I draw a lot of Pokemon and stuff, but my favorite franchise of all time is Left 4 Dead, dude. I know it's
Nice.
it's literally two games, but man, I grew up playing Left 4 Dead since it came out. I was on that for hours and hours, and that's something that I can't do even now with games being even better and more advanced and funner.
Yeah.
It's just something about Left 4 Dead, just being able to turn my brain off, dude, and just run through maps nonstop. I love the designs they use for the special infected. I love the the science between the maps, like telling you where to go, and you never really feel lost. You never really feel like you don't know what to do. Yeah, I've played that since it came out. I still play it occasionally. The only reason I don't is just because recently I've got a new Mac, and it's literally too advanced to play Left 4 Dead on Steam, which was heartbreaking. But yeah, dude, Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, that's my jam. That's my jam.
It is by far the coolest answer we've gotten on this show so far. That is completely out of left field. I would have never guessed that. No, Left 4 Dead is honestly one of the best franchises out there, especially for the zombie. And when it comes to zombies, I remember some of the heavy music I listened to came out like a zombie album. We had Walking
Yeah.
Dead that when that came out. So there's like so much happening when that game came out. And I agree with you. The sandbox and the level design of those games is immaculate because if you go back and play in the city, it's Left 4 Dead 1 that I'm thinking of,
Mhm.
and you're in this construction zone. You're like, how the hell do I get through here? But you just do it because you're fighting the hordes of
Yeah.
zombies and you just naturally make your way through. Um, Fun fact, my friend Corey, I don't know if he'll even ever hear this. He actually was like on a team for MLG game battles, and they were like the top three team in the world or something like that. So we
No
went pretty
way.
ham on Left 4 Dead. Yeah. Left 4 Dead was crazy. Yeah.
Damn.
It
Like,
was pretty
so
popular.
Left 4 Dead competitive, like y'all were competing in Left 4 Dead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it had gone
Yeah.
that far. I thought everyone was just hanging out playing.
I was I was the one hanging out and playing. I sucked competitively, but my friends in high school were really really good at it. So that's
Wow.
awesome, man. I hopefully we get a Left 4 Dead 3. I know we got
Dude,
whatever that game was came out a year or two ago. It's
Bo
the same developers.
Back for Blood.
Yeah, I didn't like it, dude. I didn't like it at all.
I mean, I liked it for the first month that it came out. I think it was just the excitement of like, oh, this could be Left 4 Dead. revamped or whatever. But no, there's just something that Left 4 Dead just hit, and that worked for them. And I I know a lot of games struggle to kind of recreate that magical thing that connects a player to the game. So yeah, we'll see. It's kind of a dead hope for me. I don't think we'll ever see a Left 4 Dead 3. I'm thinking it'll be more like Back 4 Blood, where someone makes a game very similar. But who knows, man? Who knows? Anything could happen.
Yeah, that's true. And hopefully, if they do it justice, or just do a remake and
Yeah.
do it justice. I'd be happy with that
Yeah.
too. Um, so next question that obviously we ask people in their first time here is, what is your favorite movie of all time if you have a number one movie?
Man, it'd be hard to pick. I
It
guess
really is.
the first one that comes to mind is Transformers. I'm a nut for the first Transformers, dude. Like, same thing. When it first came out, it was just like nothing like I had ever seen before. And I don't know. I had always grown up playing with Transformers figures.
Yeah.
But then seeing how gorgeous of an imagery Michael Bay and their team did with first Transformers, and of course they continued it with the other ones. But I feel like story wise or design wise, like after the first or second one, they something started like, I don't know, falling off. But the first one, even though it's not robot heavy. Um, I don't know, just something about it. I would say that's like my top, most of the time, my favorite movie, if not like top two, and it's not two.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so when that movie came out, I think it was like 2006 or 7. It was like at the height of like
Yeah,
pop culture for us as we were like in high school and
yeah,
whatnot. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think like Michael Bay just nailed it. And when I think of that movie, I just think of Optimus Prime. The first time I saw him in like his
yeah,
full robot form, I was like, dude, no way. And when he puts like his like when he puts the mask on when he's in battle mode, I'm like, dude, like he nailed it. Because we grew up watching Transformers,
yeah.
two older brothers. So we watched Beast Wars a lot when we were kids. So we know the
Oh, heck
characters,
yeah.
we know some of the lore. So when the movies came out, I was blown away. I couldn't agree with you more. The way him and the team like made those animations for the transformations, like I don't know how they nailed it so good back in the day. Like today I could see it happening, but back then, like
Yeah,
I mean we're talking what 15 or 13 what 15 years ago.
about
You know,
yeah.
it's nuts, man. So another solid choice, man. You really I like your choices here. I didn't expect it, so it's really awesome.
Thank
Um,
you, dude. I mean, dude, I'm a simple guy, dude. Robots and zombies, you got me, dude. You already got me. I'm hooked.
there we go. I love it. No, nothing wrong with that. And so one of the things you were talking about earlier in terms of like one of your sources of income, and it's always something that's kind of caught my interest because some of the album arts you used to use for some of your hits, from some of the songs you released and dropped, was Godzilla. And I always thought that was dope and badass. But what got you into music? I would love to know.
I I'd been into music. I mean, I guess into creating music since my seventh grade year in junior high. So I was like, what, 12? And back then I had like a weird army phase to where I was like wearing camo like every day, dude. Like I was like spinning sticks, pretending they were guns and stuff. And in my town, first through sixth is elementary, seventh and eighth is junior high, and then ninth through 12 is high school. Um, so when I was going from elementary to junior high, they give you the list of classes, and you have all these. You could be in art, you could be in ROTC, which is actual, closer to the army world.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, dude, I want to play the trumpet, because that stuff. I was like, dude, I want to be that guy. And so I started learning how to play trumpet in seventh grade, and I was really bad. I was like really bad. Like I couldn't like get any of the cool parts that I wanted. So then I worked my ass off all through 8th grade, and my freshman year of high school coming in, I was pretty good. I was pretty decent. Um, and when I didn't have to worry about learning how to play one instrument is when I was introduced to learning music theory, like in general, how to create stuff. Um, and so from there, I just, I would look up programs where I could either get like loops, like pre-made loops, and put them together. Or there are also programs called Finale, where you can, wow, what's the word I'm looking for? You can compose your own music, like note by note, literally write it out. And from then I just got the bug, dude. Like I was making random songs every week, and albeit they were, bad because I was 13, 14, 15 making them, but you know, you learn from the last one, right? So I just kept going and going. And then when I went to college, I wanted to study music education. And the basic classes that you start off with is music theory. And that was like the first time that I actually like dove in, like refined all the stuff that I had learned. And since then, I just wanted to continue with that. So yeah, it started when I was, preteen, but it just evolved since then.
Nice, nice. And obviously this is one of the questions that I wrote down for your artistry, but in terms of like music too, is there like an end game for you? Is there something that you want to accomplish? And what I mean by that is I actually like to write music too.
Okay.
I forgot unfortunately almost everything I went to college for, but like
Same,
a
dude.
goal I have, yeah, dude, it's horrible, but like a goal I have is to maybe release an EP on iTunes and just I can tell you, hey, look up perspectives and boom, there it is. So like, is
Yeah.
there like something that you'd like to reach as a goal?
I think honestly, just to be able to use music to help like pay my bills, like it helps a little bit now. Because I mean, I can't do it full time just because, of the reach and the pay and all that stuff. Like, I'm much more comfortable doing design right now, and that helps a lot more. But at some point, to be able to make enough music or to make good enough music to where, I don't have to worry about the light bill and the water bill and, X bill here, X bill there.
Right.
Um, because most people that want to make music want to be famous, or that I see, that it might not be most people, but a lot of people I see want to make music and they want to blow up and they want to, do the whole touring, do the whole superstar stuff. And I'm not that like extroverted. Like I've performed on stages before and I love it, but I don't know if I want to do that all the time every day for a long time. So yeah, just hopefully making enough music and good enough music to help me out, help my family out. That'd be success right there for me. Like I don't need all the bling and all the tour
Glamorous shit, all the
80.
fame and glory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it'd be good if a lot of people knew my music, like, but
Yeah.
I don't need all the other crazy, rock star, pop star stuff.
Right. And if you don't mind, let's go ahead and plug it now. Is it still under Raymond on Spotify? I believe it's under Spotify. I used to check it out.
Yeah,
Can people go find it
Raymond,
there?
Reymenn. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, basically anywhere you download or listen to music and stream music. And going off a little bit off that, it's a lot easier nowadays to stream music because the website that I use to distribute my music charges me $20 for the year. So whatever I make,
Yeah.
I upload, and whatever that generates money wise, which is more than $20 over the 12 months, you can just keep feeding that back into the program and continue it. So it's a lot easier nowadays to be able to do that and show your music.
Yeah, it is one of the best things about technology as there's definitely some conversations to have there where social media and internet has been a detriment to society, but also it's been a benefit to artists like yourself. And that's one of the ways right there with distribution of our music. And I think that's fantastic. And I also want to make it clear that there will be links to all of Ray's art and music in the description of the video and this podcast. So please check that out. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you sharing that story though, because I'm a huge music buff. Obviously, I listen to everything, but I lean more towards
Yeah.
hardcore and metalcore.
Hell yeah.
But I cherish music, man. So I'm always happy to hear someone else's story. Um, but one of the things that you've really blown my mind away over the years, as I can see the progression in your art and your style, is the graphic design that you do. And that was a question I really had for you, is like, what got you into graphic design? Was that just a career path that you always knew you wanted? Was it something you found through high school, or just you just did it one day and you said, fuck it?
Dude, I've been drawing since like literally before I can remember. Like I know that's a saying that people use a lot, but um my family would show me pictures of when I was a kid, and it'll be, just a family on a couch or something. And if you look at like the walls, there will be drawings of like Pokemon like on little papers just torn up and stuck to the wall, or like Beetleborgs. I don't know if you know Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd been drawing forever in my eyes. Um, but I never really thought that's what I would, do for a living. Like I said, when I was in high school going into college, I thought I'm gonna be a music teacher. That's just what I'll be doing forever. Um, and then I realized I didn't like kids as much as I thought. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of a core thing. So I don't know if that's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Um, and I had always drawn, and even when I was in high school, like art programs, like computer programs like Photoshop and stuff were still in their very early stages. So it's not like you could just go and download Photoshop. You couldn't, go and download something on your computer, much less your phone, where you could learn how to draw. So that was like, it wasn't even a thought in my head, like, oh, I could do graphic design. And then when I went to college and I was like, yeah, I realized that I could do music, but I didn't want to do music education. So I actually switched my major to art and design. Um, and then as I learned more about it, I realized how much technology had caught up. And now there were more programs outside of Photoshop, outside of all the big, big name, expensive programs that I could just download to practice on, And so from there, I I I learned Photoshop because of my classes, but that field in particular of graphic design wasn't a huge thing in my college. So there was only one class that would teach you about Photoshop. And after I finished it, I was like, all right, where's the next thing? Where's the next thing I can learn? They were like, no, yeah, you're good. That's it. Like, there's no more of that. And so that sucked. And so I started, I think I pirated Photoshop at that point. I'm not really sure. Um, but I started learning, my own tactics and my own stuff. Um, and then as I got better, I was like, all right, well, maybe I can convince someone to pay me money for it. And that's how it started, dude. Like little by little, like I'd sell a drawing for like $10, and then, next month I'd sell one for 15, and then, the next 3 months I'm just charging $10, $5 for things that would take me hours of work. But at that point I just wanted to, you know, get into it, get my 10,000 hours in. Um, so yeah, it all kind of evolved as luckily technology kind of kept up with my desire to want to do it. But yeah, I'd been drawing forever, and I kind of just, if something in the art scene pops up, like I'm on it. Like I try to research it. First it was graphic design, digital design. Then not too long ago it was NFTs. then not too long ago, or now actually, it's AI art, and
Oh,
even though I might not use everything, I'm still like keeping an eye on what how the field is growing and evolving.
it's actually I'm looking at my questions and I forgot to write it down, but you just hit a really, really high note. But before we jump into that, would you like to explain the 10,000 time rule or do you want me to? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know about that. And it's honestly kind of like a general rule of life when it comes to skills.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I was told very, simply, like, you can't really call yourself great at something without putting your 10,000 hours in. And obviously, you're not, timing yourself. Oh, I spent 6 hours today. I spent 7 hours yesterday. Like, but
Yeah.
you kind of just feel it, when you're a couple years down and you don't go through the same obstacles you did when you started. You're like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting those 10,000 hours. Um, and I can master this if I continue doing that. That's how it was explained to me.
Same here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted it to be said again too, because I think that is a really golden rule. I actually went to the Art Institute of the Inland Empire out here in Southern California, and one of
Nice.
my teachers was actually the guy who created Invader Zim, or the artist for Invader Zim.
No way.
And yeah, I'm forgetting his name, but the professor, he was harsh, told me I sucked. He said, "Why am I even here?" But I appreciate that though, because I went through different avenues and I found what I wanted to. So I went back into music. That whole school fell apart, but the teachers were legit. And he was such a nice guy. And in terms of the just being transparent, and that is something that he brought up was the 10,000 hours. He's like, "How many hours do you think you put into, drawing?" I was like not even 50. And he's like, "Yeah, like unless you want to devote yourself to that 10,000 hours, this probably isn't for you." And I'm really glad that he told me that because I couldn't agree with it more. And it's truly fascinating. And I think it's a really positive way to live life, but also kind of keeps you humble because you said it yourself. Like how you can't call yourself great at something if you haven't done it for 10,000 hours. And I totally believe that. I am 3 years into this podcast come June, and I feel like I
Dude,
still have
almost
so much
there.
to learn. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I'm just now diving into video editing.
Hmm.
And that was like kind of the funny thing you said too. So when I was in high school, I took computer science, web design, and you're right, dude. Like Photoshop when we were in high school, like it wasn't so accessible like it is now. Like
No.
you couldn't do like a $10 a month Adobe membership and then here's full access to all of our suite. Like you couldn't do that. You had to pirate it. Um, so that is really cool that technology, like as you said, grew as you continue to grow as an artist because it truly has made it accessible to you. But that it does lead to one of the questions I have and how you feel about it, NFTs and AI art. Like as an artist, how do you combat that, or like what's your take on that? Because it's kind of like a hot topic right now, I'd say in the art industry.
Yeah, I mean, NFTs in particular, I didn't really get into, mainly because of the whole crypto part of it. I even now I still don't really understand blockchains and what crypto really is, with the rising and fall of a certain valuable coin or bit or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I never really got into it, and I know the big like selling point, to me, that a lot of other artists told me when NFTs started popping and they wanted to get into them, was like, hey, like even if you sell something, you get a kickback, like you get a percentage, and they can sell it a million times and you'd still get a percentage, which is cool because that's very much non-existent in traditional art. Let's say, someone sells a Van Gogh. Van Gogh is obviously not getting any money, or I guess that's way too late. Maybe Banksy. I don't know. Someone sells
I
a
know what you're saying though.
Banksy, like he doesn't get anything, which that aspect of a kickback is very cool. But to me, it was like, if you sell an NFT for $3 and then they sell it for 10 and they sell it for 20, you still get X amount. When in my mind, I'm just going, why don't I just sell them the piece for $40 and it's theirs, and I could possibly have gotten the same amount of kickback or more if I just sold it to them, and without having to make them log in and put in a code to display their art. Like they could just pull it up on anything they have. So it was really tough for me to into it. I never really dove in. I didn't make any NFT stuff. I didn't turn any of my old art to NFT to try to sell. Um, so that kind of lost me. And then the wave died. So,
Yeah.
as all waves do. And now the biggest thing is AI art, which is a lot more I don't know how to explain it. It's a lot more like it's evolving and changing at a much more rapid pace than anything yet in terms of programming, in terms of art and style, in terms of shifting the culture. Like this is a literal atomic bomb, and it boomed, but you're still feeling the effects of it right now, and it's interesting. Like AI generation programs are a very powerful tool, and artists and even businesses are still kind of trying to figure out certain legalities of what one can and can't do. Because yes, it's cool that you can type in, Vader riding a horse or something and it pops up. But then you get into like, okay, is the program getting a style from an artist? Is that copyright for style? Is the artist even alive to try to even combat that? Is it taking, you know, styles from the Renaissance, and is that copyright? It's very tricky. Like I myself use AI mainly to help plan out a design. So like let's say, I have an idea for a design and I just can't get it in my head. I'll type into an AI app that I got on my phone or something.
Hmm.
And then, it'll give me a lot better pictures so that I can use that as a reference to, start working on it. I had made a joke about AI with one of my friends a while ago, to where like creating art is, you're going to Thanksgiving and you made your mashed potatoes, you mashed them up, you made the gravy, you added the butter, did all that good stuff. But AI art is like, you went to KFC, you got the mashed potato dinner plate, and then you brought it to Thanksgiving and said, "Hey, look at my mashed potatoes." Like that's what it feels like. Um, and yes, there's the argument of who's creating the prompts, who's making the small edits, who's, the actual programmers. Um, it's very new. AI is still very new. I think everyone is still figuring it out. And I feel like the AI we have right now, the AI culture we have right now, is the wheel. And I feel like very, very soon we're going to have a Ferrari, if you know what I mean. Like it'll have evolved that much.
I do see potential for it to evolve a lot. And I've even dabbled with it. I think I typed in Master Chief in the woods or something, and it came up with like this whole scape. I think I posted them on Instagram at one point, but I don't know. As somebody who's a failed artist, and I'm very proud of that because I'm okay with not being good at it. Um, Initially I kind of found it like despicable because of how traditional artists like yourself must feel, just like people who create their own original ideas. And you're also good at tacking on uh ideas that already exist. I think you do a great job of that as well. And I just found it to be cheap, but I've come to see a ton of AI art in the last few months. Like we're talking about, it's kind of just this atomic bomb. You can definitely tell that it's AI art. I feel
Yeah.
like if you have a really good eye for it, you can tell. And from what I've been seeing lately, though, is like people aren't really doing it. Well, from my perspective and what I've seen, people aren't claiming to be artists now. Like they're just having fun with it. And I think, like,
Yeah.
to a degree, that's okay. Like, I mean, are you okay with that? Or is it something you're like kind of hope dies down? I do like the idea, though, that if you have this vision, but you just can't visualize it, you type in the prompt, like, oh, well, that's pretty badass. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay. with people using it ethically, in quotation marks, ethically, because people's ethics are different. If someone's just, messing around with it, working with the program, trying to get better with whatever program they're using, and posting to see what sticks and what doesn't, that doesn't bother me. um a couple, maybe months ago, I saw a couple of stories. So one, I saw that, um I don't know if it was a school, I don't know if it was just an online thing, but some organization was having a an art contest. They were hosting an art contest, and the winner ended up being a person that just used AI and only typed in the prompts to make the art, had won. And I don't remember exactly what the prize was. I don't know if there was any money involved, but that seems, not ethical, art ethical,
Yeah.
because you do have the people that didn't win that put in, X amount of hours. And had this program not known enough information to make a good piece of art, chances are it would have been an artist that had won it. And then a couple weeks after that, I had heard about, this guy on Twitter was talking about how he wrote a children's book, but the art of the children's book was AI generated. The actual writing in the book was also AI generated. And
Oh,
so, and then he what's it called? He puts it up, he publishes it on Amazon and is selling, his children's book. And it's like, where's the work? Where's like the soul? Like, and I get, like I
yeah.
said, I get the argument of people that do the prompts. They say, oh well, I'm the one that thought of the idea. I'm the one that refines the idea, but there's it's just something about it, about just being able to type in whatever and being able to have this magical thing that creates whatever you see, as opposed to to creating it. No middleman in between. You're creating it. You're carving out the statue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just depends. Like I said, I'm not completely against AI. I'm not an old man that's like, oh, I hate new technology.
Yeah.
Because it is a very powerful tool, like, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Mm.
Um, I don't I don't know if I'll ever lose my job to AI, because um my job is very specific in my case, to where I mostly do a certain style. But who knows? Like, tomorrow, someone might create a program that has Raymond art style programmed into it, and then anyone can get whatever they want just by typing it
Yeah.
in my style. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Like, it's very new. I think artificial intelligence in general, us as humans are still kind of trying to figure out and learn about, and I don't know. I like AI art. Just, use it accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more, and that's why I had to bring up the questions to you because you just make so many good points, and you're right. I did hear that story about the guy who won using AI generated art, but you're talking about
mhm.
this guy who did a kids book. I feel like it can be a useful tool, but I think it needs to be laid out though that like, hey, like this was created using AI generated art, just so you know.
Yeah,
Like I feel like
yeah,
like when you had to submit an essay in college, like you had to have all your sources listed at the bottom. Like I think AI generation, it has to have that source and be like, hey, like this is the app I use, this is what I did. Like it, I just think that it has to happen that way. It has to be regulated somehow because
yeah,
you're right. Like we're kind of veering away from the heart and soul of the people who made that statue, who made that art piece. So I think I think there's room for both in the marketplace is what I'm getting at. And you said that if the technology does keep advancing like crazy, that people can type in Raymond art, and that's kind of something I wanted to talk about in terms of your style. I think it's something that I think we'll probably admit, but after Scarlet and Violet came out, we got Paradox Pokemon. And you, my friend, have found what I think is a very, very good niche in terms of the Pokemon community. Uh,
Mm.
you got on TikTok. I remember when you started on TikTok and you're blowing up on there. I just feel like the Paradox Pokemon's kind of taking off. This is from an outside looking in, though. You can tell me I'm wrong. Um, but like, how did that come about? And is it true though, that, like that this is like kind of taken off for you? Because I feel like it is.
Yeah, I mean, I did something right before the paradoxes that I think was the thing. I can't remember right now.
I don't know if it was like
Um,
a convergent species or a regional
I think
species.
so, yeah. Or so I had started on TikTok maybe like 2 years ago, and just kind of posting art, posting, trying to make funny videos, posting music, seeing what would stick. And nothing did, dude. Like the whole first year that I had TikTok, um, I had 100 followers. Like I'm pretty sure, maybe like 120. And at some point, I felt like, well, I'm putting too much energy to too many things. I thought like I was doing a lot of music. I was posting a lot on Instagram. I was trying to post a lot on TikTok. I was trying to keep up on YouTube. Like I just had so much on my plate, and I was getting disappointed that nothing was working. So at some point I was like, all right, I'm gonna zone in on one thing and see how that goes. And the one thing I figured would be best was TikTok, since TikTok is still very much young. It's at a young age itself as a program in our society. And so what made me blow up on Instagram was my Pokemon fusions, like
Oh, yeah.
4 years ago, like a while ago. That's what really started getting people to my page. So I was like, all right, let's keep that and just kind of reformat it to what I see TikTok likes. And so I have a folder in my hard drive with all my fusions, and I started working on making videos, 5, 6, 7 second videos about the fusions. And I had so many that I could post 3 videos a day for like 4 months. And that was this past July. So I was like, that's my game plan. I'm going to post morning, afternoon, and evening, and just do that until I run out. And so, I started doing that the first month. I didn't really see a change. Maybe gained 50 followers. But then the second month, I gained like 100 more. And then the third month, I gained like 200 more. Then it just kept growing. And so I was like, all right, like this is it. The fusions got my back once again, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was great until I ran out of fusions in the vault. So then I had to
yeah.
not only work on new ones to keep up the pace, but also had, commissions and other stuff that I had to do on the side. And I was like, damn, okay, maybe I can't sustain this as much as I thought now. And the page was still growing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to cut back because now I know that there are people seeing my page. I'm going to post once when I feel like everyone's getting home from work and stuff. So I post usually around between 4 to 5. And I had to make sure that whatever design I do is like thought through quite a bit. And then right before Scarlet and Violet, before we knew about Paradox Pokemon and stuff, a lot of people were already thinking like, oh, there's going to be future forms and past forms of Pokemons. And what did they call it? They called it something else. Like the fans already had like a term for it. But so I was like, all right, I'll start doing that. So I started making up past and future forms of Pokemon. Um, but they were, what we knew of Pokemon today. So I would just kind of make them look like evolutions a little bit. And then, the trailer drops, that Scarlet and Violet trailer drops where we see the first looks of Iron Treads and Great Tusk. And you're like, whoa, dude, like that's something else. Then the game comes out, you get to really know these Paradox Pokemon. You get to learn about the mysteries about them and where they even come from. And that just kind of gave me the reign to like do whatever I wanted, because Paradox Pokemon have no set sheet of what they should look like, like it the Pokedex say that they're literally from someone's imagination or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, yeah, I can go off on this. And yeah, a lot of people liked them. The one that really popped the most was the Tinkaton that I did with a gun. People loved that one, dude. That one, like, I think it hit like 1 million views on TikTok like a couple weeks ago, dude. Like people went crazy for that. They thought it was the funniest stuff. But yeah, dude. So I'm kind of just riding the waves, kind of seeing what's popping, what's going on, and trying to not have like a dull space going on.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm giggling because I'm looking at Iron Strap right now. I'm on your TikTok. It's awesome. It's so badass. One of the other ones that you did that I truly love, as we're talking about Paradox forms here, was Lugia, and that one also hit about almost 700,000 views. Very good feedback. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. As I remember when you came back to TikTok, and that's when you were doing the fusions, and I think you were at about 1K because that's where I'm at. I remember you kind of came back when you were doing
Mm,
that, and yeah, now you're sitting at 18K, almost a million likes. I mean, dude, like, yeah, I think that's why it's so cool to see because I suck ass at social media. I'm not good at it. I actually can't stand social media. I need to get over it
yeah,
because I want to
yeah,
find that success creating the podcast. I'm a huge gamer, so I want to be able to post video game clips and do this and do that. And it's also funny that you talked about July last year because I did the same thing. There's two clips that I posted from Halo Infinite that got like stupid views, man, stupid views. And all I was doing was shooting myself with a warthog across the map as Master Chief and in the campaign. So it's like it's kind of weird what can blow up. You never really know because I
yeah,
was literally in my sales class, my phone's blowing up, and my coworker or my friend went next to me. He's like, "Dude, are you going viral right now?" I was like, "I'm like kind of in the Halo community, yeah."
yeah. Hell yeah, dude!
So
Congrats.
no, yeah, thank you. No, it was cool as shit. And I was looking at your TikTok though, and I could have done Instagram as well, but there is one thing that you did kind of before you jumped into the fossil like reimaginings of the prehistoric Pokemon. You did the Halloween Pokemon, and I'm a Charizard fanboy, and I thought you nailed that line as like a Halloween line, kind of like the Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
I thought that was fucking sick, man. Like you nailed it. Um, but so we have a few questions regarding Pokemon, and we're gonna jump into that. But one that's kind of
let's
like
get
on the
it.
spot. I feel like it won't be too hard. Um, what's your favorite like official Paradox Pokemon so far?
I would say Iron Thorns, dude. Iron Thorns is like I'm a Tyranitar fanatic, dude.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing Iron Thorns missed was the typing. I really, really wanted to see a steel typing on it. But yeah, Iron Thorns, like, and I know a lot of people kind of hate on the future Paradox forms because they're just a metallic skin on the regular
Yeah.
Pokemon. But I love Tyranitar too much to not like it, dude. Tyranitar, and then I would say Great Tusk is right under it.
Nice, nice. Well, the thing about Iron Thorns too, and which I'm sure you could appreciate, is it's basically Mecha Godzilla too.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yes.
it's really badass. I love Iron Thorns a lot. I think the future ones are okay. I think Iron Valiant's really badass
Oh
too.
yeah.
But I remember, like you're talking about what the people were calling the leaks and stuff, they're calling them ancient forms.
Yeah.
And so Salamence was on that list. And I was like, no way, dude. No way am I getting a new I third gen is like my favorite gen besides obviously Kanto. Um and the second I saw Roaring Moon, I about cried and I made sure to like go hunt a shiny one down. So yeah, dude, seriously, Chef's
Chef's
Kiss. It's like
kiss, man.
he's literally the perfect version of Mega Salamence and Salamence put together.
Yeah.
Um but we'll just keep the Pokemon train going because it's really fun. And I haven't talked about Pokemon in a while, but what's your I know it's a hard one, but do you have a favorite Pokemon of all time, or is it still Tyranitar? As you just said, like kind of a Tyranitar fanatic.
Tyranitar, dude, and a lot of Pokemon as more generations, come and go. There's a lot of close ones, dude, but man, it's just there's something about Tyranitar, dude. Like it not only is it my favorite now, but it was like my first favorite. Like I remember playing Gold and training this freaking Larvitar forever, forever. All my other Pokemon had evolved. Everyone else already, did the Elite Four and did everything else. And I still had this Pupitar that just wouldn't evolve, dude. And I remember, finally after however many hours or however long it took of it evolving to Tyranitar and me seeing it for the first time because it's not like now where you can just look up the whole Pokedex whenever you want. Like, I had no idea what it was gonna look like, and I just
Yeah.
remember like the feeling of like relief and like just like it was worth it. Like he's not just gonna turn into some random. Like, yeah, dude, it's been Tyranitar. Also, I'm a little biased on Godzilla s designs, but yeah, man, Tyranitar's number one for me all day, every day.
Yeah, no, that's awesome too. And you do make a good point though. Like you already went through the Pokemon League, you already went to Kanto, you find yourself at Mount Silver, and you got this cute little rock lizard, and you're like, what the hell am I doing to do with this? And then it turns into a cocoon. You're like, I feel like I'm getting led to nothing here. And then sure
Yeah,
enough, I think
dude.
it's level 50 or 55. That's when you find out you got
55,
a
yeah.
beast. Yeah. Do you happen to have a favorite starter? We're 10 generations deep. Do you have a favorite starter?
A favorite starter. I think that's actually a tough one. I would say Infernape is probably up there because I really love fourth gen. I really love Sinnoh. Infernape and probably Feraligatr are some of the two that I would
There you
say are
go.
my favorites. Yeah.
That's my water boy. I love yeah, the Totodile crocodile for alligator line. Ah, can't go wrong. It's for me I go the Charizard line for alligator and then a Sceptile. You gotta stick to my
Yeah, the
reptiles.
lizards, dude. Yeah, dude. Exactly. Exactly, dude. Same.
uh I had to, man. And then I I haven't seen you post them in a while. I know you got a collection, but do you have a favorite Pokemon card at all?
I would say, yeah, yeah. Well, it's Tyranitar. Big surprise, big surprise. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm blanking on it right now. A long time ago, they did the set where they changed types. Delta
Delta
species,
species.
dude. And they had a Fire Steel Tyranitar.
Yep.
And the artist is Mitsuhiro Arita, which everyone, if you see his art,
Everyone
you
should
know
know.
his art. Everyone knows. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And dude, that card is perfection, dude. Like such a cool type, especially back then when Fire Steel type was unfathomable. Like
Yeah.
the actual art on it is so like daunting. Yeah, I would say thou.
It's a really solid choice because yeah, he's in that room and his back's turned to you, and his tail
Yeah,
just looks like it's gonna hit you through the card. Yeah, Delta species like had me lose my shit when I was a kid because the other side of that token in that same set was Salamence, who was fire and steel.
yeah.
So,
And he was all
so
3D,
yeah,
right? He's like 3D generated.
yeah. So, no, that's a really cool era. I would say another runner up would probably be Shining Tyranitar because it literally looks like he's going Super
Yeah.
Saiyan just as a shiny Tyranitar. But Destiny is an amazing set. But yeah, I had to ask. It is funny though because Tyranitar does have some of the best cards in the entire TCG, which is funny because he's getting a new card in the next set. And
Mm-hmm.
we went to a place out here and they were selling the Japanese card. And my friend Brandon, who's actually got commissions from you, Giga Narwhal, he's done the pop head with you and stuff. and then he did
Oh,
like a
okay, okay.
Monster Hunter. Yeah, he did like a Monster Hunter playmat with you too. But yeah, he's a Tyranitar fanboy, and he picked up that card, and it's like, dude, it's so sick. So you got a new Tyranitar to look forward to. Um, but
Dude, well,
one
for
of
a while, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
no, no, go, no, go ahead.
Um, for a while, a couple years ago, I started getting into my love for collecting cards. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna collect every single Tyranitar card from every set that I can. And this is back in like 2015, 2016. And so, spent a crap load of money, got every Tyranitar card from every set up until that point. And so then the next set comes, and there's I think three different ones: the hollow, the rare, and the secret rare. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try for those. And then the next set comes out, and there's another hollow, or rare, and a secret rare, and like a rainbow rare. And I was like, all right, these are kind of coming at me kind of close. And then every set after that had like two or three different Tyranitar cards, in the set. And I was like, oh man, I tapped out, dude. I couldn't, it was too many to keep up with, man.
I feel that. So I sold my collection back in like 2017, 2018, which
Mm,
I hate that I did because I had every Charizard, every art of Charizard printed in English.
yeah.
I had Skyridge, I had Gold Star, all of that. And now I'm trying to like kind of go back and collect some of that again. And like even Shining Charizard, my favorite card of all time, is $1,000 if you want
Jeez,
it in
man.
good condition. And I'm like, dude, stupid, man. So I'm glad you were able to get most of the best ones before that price hike because now it's a little
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's something else. But well, the last major question I have for you today, because it's something I'm fascinated in, because I didn't know you had this in you, because a lot of people don't talk about it. Competitive battling on the Pokemon games. That is so badass. I thought I was like the only one who still like cared about this shit, especially on Instagram. And so I see you posting about it. And I'm like, dude, he's like really making a name for himself on there. Uh, were you always into competitive battling, or did you kind of just get back into it because Scarlet and Violet's just a really fun game competitively?
Dude, so yes, because of Scarlet and Violet, I got back into it when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had come out. I was really into, breeding and making, competitive teams and stuff. And then after Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was when I started kind of losing interest in Pokemon games as a whole. The next ones after that just never like drew me in. And I would buy the games, but I would just play them until I beat the league, and then I would never touch them again. So then Scarlet and Violet comes out, and I'm playing it, and I'm having the most fun I've had in a recent Pokemon game, aside from Legends Arceus.
Oh,
Um,
good game.
but man, I'm having all this fun. I'm like, damn, like it like reinvigorated this drive that I had. And so I started looking into the Pokemon again, and how well they could do competitively. And the more I looked into it, the more I realized how much easier it is now to build a competitive Pokemon. You don't have to breed for perfect IVs anymore because of mints. You don't have to, you know, hatch 1,000 eggs for a shiny. Like, it's a little bit easier to hunt for shinies now if you want one. And so, yeah, dude, like I started. I'm a sucker for sandstorm teams. Um, so
As you should.
Tyranitar's in it. Um, and I just started, building again, experimenting with different Pokemon. And lately, my one of my MVPs, that's maybe not MVP in the game per se, but in my heart, has been Orthworm. Dude, Orthworm is just like the cheesiest Pokemon. Like, he's just so cool, dude. Like, I fell in love with him. I fell so much in love with him over time. Like, I would keep him in my battles, and he would just kind of come through in totally different ways every time. And I was like, dude, Orthworm is my guy, dude. But yeah, I'm glad I got back into it, dude, because a couple months ago, man, you wouldn't believe it, dude. Like I was terrified of going online. Like I had built a team, I had, I kind of figured out what it could do, but I couldn't really practice. Um, and I was terrified of going online because I'm like, it's a new game, like it's a new meta. All these dudes, all these people are gonna know more about it than me. Like I'm gonna suck, like all this stuff. And it took me like a week of convincing myself to freaking plug online.
Yeah.
And then I did, dude, and I was like, man, like, what am I afraid of, dude? Like every time I get online, I have so much fun. And the big difference between me playing competitively 10 years ago and me playing now is that 10 years ago, if I lost, let's say I lost really bad, RNG wasn't on my side at all. I just got swept by a Pikachu. I don't know. Like I would like hold my DS, dude, and I would just like squeeze it. Like I would squeeze it until I felt the plastic folding, like or
Yeah.
bending, but not cracking. And I would just like, oh, and I would just like drop it and rage quit or whatever. But now, dude, like sometimes I'll get completely annihilated, and dude, I'm just laughing my ass off, dude. Like it's so much fun now.
Yeah.
Now that I can actually enjoy it and not rage out. Like it's so much fun, dude. I love um battling online. I love battling in ranked battles. And now I watch the VGC tournaments on YouTube. I try to catch them every other weekend that they come on or whenever they come on. Because yeah, dude, it's just Scarlet and Violet has just I don't know. I might only be speaking for myself, but it kind of just brought back that Pokemon magic that maybe some players might have lost before. I know in my case, I at some point I felt like I was like I'm supporting a losing team. Like I'm playing these games and I hate them, but no, Scarlet and Violet and Legends like really just like brought me back up. They did their thing. Yeah, dude, I'm having fun playing Pokemon again, which is awesome.
You would have hated me when X and Y came out. So that's actually when I hit my competitive stride. I've died down since then, but an
Mm.
X and Y I had, or Y version because I'm a Charizard fanboy, and I chose Charizard Y. I had over 300 wins online. I won the online competition because I ran a Ninetales drought team with Charizard
Yeah,
Y, Protean Greninja, which back then you can keep changing your typing. It didn't get
yeah,
nerfed. And then Gale Wings, Talonflame,
Talon,
which also hadn't got nerfed yet. So I was a menace, dude. I'm very proud of
dude.
it because it was fun. So I need to make a team and we got to battle just because I love battling too. And I couldn't agree with you more. It's just, it's so fun. And you kind of spoke to my heart there when you said that you were afraid to hop online because I mean, I turned 30 this year, dude. I mean, Scarlet Violet, I should be okay hopping online. Even I felt the exact same way. And I shit you not, I think I have video of it. I know I hit him up on YouTube. My first online battle was against a YouTuber named Pimp Knight who makes
Oh no way!
theme
You battled Pimp Knight, dude. That is
and
awesome.
dude, it was nuts. And I knew it was well, I saw the name. I was like, that could be anyone. Anyone can name themselves Pimp Knight.
Yeah,
But sure enough, he was running a dragon themed team. And I was like, no, I think this is him. And then after I won the battle, by the way, I'm very proud of that shit. And I think
nice.
it's because of, and just like you're talking about Orthoworm, uh, my lucky Pokemon that no one really saw coming was my Dragon Terra type Espeon.
Oh,
So that was,
nice,
yeah. So I kind of threw Espeon out there as like a trick. People were like, oh, it's just going to be a psychic. Nope, that's my Terra type. So, yeah, I won the match, and sure enough, I go on YouTube. I'm like, nope, that's like literally his account. Like I just beat a YouTuber on my very first online battle. So,
nice,
uh, yeah,
dude. I need
I
to look
mean,
for that video. I need to look for that video.
yeah, I need to find to see. I think I recorded, at least 30 seconds of it on my Switch too. I need to
Uh
post
huh.
it because like I could not believe. I love Pimp Knight. I've been watching him since the Sun and Moon era. But I couldn't agree with you with these games. You know, even though they do have performance issues and there is a lot of challenges that I wish they didn't have, it's
Yeah.
still the Pokédex is the reason why I think you're interested in it, because the Pokédex is the best that we've had since either X and Y or Gen 4. Because in my
Agreed.
opinion, I think Gen 5 is dog shit. But you know, we don't need to get into that. But I do think like this Pokédex added such a beautiful variety of Pokemon. Then you got the Paradox Mons, and then you know, Terra typing was a gimmick that I thought would be stupid when it was announced, and then sure enough, it's like super badass.
Yeah,
um,
dude. Flying
so I think,
Tyranitar, no four times weakness, dude. Like
oh shit,
flying
oh
Tyranitar. That's what I'm running on my Tyranitar, dude. It's been a lifesaver. Like we're not afraid anymore. Me and my Tyranitar of a low kick, of a
yeah.
rogue close combat hitting me out of nowhere, dude. Like, yeah, it's a great gimmick.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. Because you're like, yeah, focus blast don't mean shit to me anymore.
Yeah.
Um, that's incredible. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I got for you today, Ray. I just really appreciate you doing this, man. This is such a long time coming. You know, I think we'll wrap it up here. I didn't want to take too much of your time. I know I got some stuff I got to do too. So, um, go ahead and let the people know what you're up to, where they can find you. One of the things that you post on Instagram lately is that you got your commissions open up again. You know, just let them know where they can find you, and we'll go from there.
I'm Raymond on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Instagram is actually underscore Raymond, RayMenn. And yes, I do have commissions open. My birthday is coming up next month. I'm turning 29, so you and I aren't that far
There we
away,
go.
dude. And
Love it.
yeah, you can check me out on Spotify or whatever you listen to music to. I make rock, I make rap, I make electronic music. Um, and yeah, I mean, if you find my page, follow it, hit me up. I'm always down to talk to people. I'm always down to chat it up with people who love Pokemon, who love video games and music. Uh, yeah, and thanks to Ryan for having me, dude. Like, I feel like it's been a long time coming. We've been, online friends forever, and
Yep.
we've always just talked either way as comfortably as this, man. It was great. It was great, doing this, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I truly couldn't be happier to call you a friend. I think you're such a fantastic human being. And to speak to that one more time before we finish this, because I forgot to bring it up, is the animated logo. I gave you one little detail and you took it and made it like I feel like you just ripped it straight out of my brain. I could not believe how perfect it was. So I want to literally face to face thank you again. And I saw that Saul's Halls, my cousin, reached
Yeah,
out to you as well. I thought you did a fantastic job of that. It reminded me of like the HPO when it turns on right before the presentation. I was like, dude, that's so fucking sick. So check out Ray's work. I'm going to be posting it throughout the week to kind of promote this podcast. I want to go ahead and post all of the old work that he did for me because it's beautiful. And yeah, so that's it. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Be sure to check out Ray's links in the description. They will all be there. Reach out to him, say hello. He's about as friendly as they get. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
see ya.
Let's see.